for this session. So how is this week? Before the ACT, DBT, and so forth, you enjoy that? It's much simple than the Buddhist meditation, right?
Yes, I found it very interesting just because there was a lot of science behind it and kind of a lot of medical applications. So that
Yeah,
really got me to thinking.
yeah. And next fall, I will teach the mindfulness course instead of this meditation.
Okay.
Yeah, let me share with you the screen. So this is this one here. Um, so you see the chart, right? The chart is so helpful, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this one is clear. Uh, you understand all of them
Yes, very well.
very well.
They made a lot more sense with me, more than I feel like this is easier to understand than more of the more, I guess, like Buddhist concepts, maybe.
And
It's very straightforward and there isn't a lot of history behind it, if that makes any sense.
yeah, they extract from Buddhist philosophy and principle to create this kind of ICT. Yeah. And this, hi, Brooklyn. How you been, Brooklyn?
Been good. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we missed you last week. What happened?
Well, I was looking for the email for the class and I didn't see it after I got done with my job interview.
Oh, you have job interview last week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is the last week that we have online meeting. I can turn on this. All right. So I, you done the online presentation too, right, Brooklyn? Oh yeah. Okay, that's great. Both you ahead of them. So go back here. All right. So Brooklyn, any question about this ICT? It's easy. It's easy to understand, right?
Yeah.
It's straightforward, right?
Mhm.
Mm. Here, let me ask you guys. You know what's the cell context instead of cell content? What's the difference? What's the difference between? Let me type. Here is a cell as a context. This cell as a content. What's mean? What's the difference? This one we talk about cell context, but what's mean cell content? What's mean?
Whenever I did a little bit more research, I
Mhm.
saw it was worded a little bit differently, but it was worded as looking from your emotions and looking to your emotions. Does that have any similarity to this at all? I'm not sure if it does.
Give me one example.
Um, Trying to think. I guess looking from your emotions, maybe like acting based on what you feel, so maybe some negative actions, and
Which
then
two guys
looking,
belong to what? Cell content and cell context.
that would be content.
Yeah, that's good. You got now. Okay. And what cell context? What's mean?
And then the other one would be looking to your emotions, like, okay, I'm feeling this, but having a positive reaction or a controlled reaction to what you're feeling.
Yeah, you're right, but only half the portion of that. Brooklyn, you understand that? You understand the difference?
Yeah. I kind of, whenever I was doing my own reading on it, I kind of read it how Caden saw it, how like whenever you're viewing your emotions, you can either view them and then act without like recognizing it, just act on impulse rather than like understanding that emotion and like saying Like if you're sad, if you're feeling sad, you identify that emotion and then like you're not impacted by it as much. That's kind of how I saw it as. Like you identify the emotion, understand why it's there, and then it doesn't have like such a visceral response on you. That's kind of how I saw it.
Yeah, but here, see yourself as an unchanged by times and experience. That means you step away from your emotion. You are the observer of your emotion. Let's say someone give you a hard time, someone says something nasty about you, right? You have bad feeling about them. At that moment, if you act with your impulse, with your direction, with your anger, that is self-content. You um, assimilate yourself as a feeling. The anger is your feeling. At that moment, you say, "Oh, I have the right to be angry because you say something nasty about me." That's self-content. Does it make sense? So you take that feeling, that emotion as your, right? That's why you act out right way without thinking. That's why most of the time it's wrong. Make sense? But self-context is mean, oh yeah, I have the anger now. I see this now. I have a hot energy in my mind, in my body. And I'm so angry. I'm so frustrated. I have that kind of resentment toward that person say that thing to me. But I step away from that feeling, that anger, and I see the anger as a contest. As you let put this way, you step away from those feelings. You yourself is considered as an observer of that feeling. Make sense? So one is that you engage with that feeling or emotion right away. Another one is that's self-content. Another one is self-contentment. You step away from that anger, from that feeling, from that emotion, and you realize, oh, I have that feeling. Oh, I have that anger. And what happened? Which one can help us to subdue our anger quicker? Which one?
Be context.
Yes. Self-context. When we step out of that feeling, right? Okay, I have that anger. I recognize that. Eventually, that type of anger would be subside. But when we get involved, we get engaged with that type of anger, we get stuck there too. We drag in the most time in negative way. That's why most of the time we wrong. That's what self-content is about. Is that clear now? Right? That's why in this kind of ACT, right, acceptance and commitment therapies help us remind us to do this one, right? And diffusion, what's mean? To observe your thoughts without being sorry. So okay, let me move down here. Observe your thoughts without being ruled by them. What's mean? Observe your thoughts without being ruled by them. You understand? Okay,
I took that as it was like understanding how you feel, but not acting upon those emotions, like having processing your feelings and your emotions before acting or speaking, depending upon the situation.
Broaden? Yeah, sorry, broaden. You understand that, right? This one is for the feeling. This one you're thinking, right? Most time, let's say someone has a problem with depression. They think, oh, I'm so sad. I'm a bad person. Uh, Basically, they have the negative thinking about them. But here, diffusion is observe your thought without being ruled by them. Observe, oh, I recognize my thought. I recognize I have negative thought, but not being ruled by them, not being controlled by that negative thought. This one is self context is for the feeling. This one is for the thinking. Is that clear now? That's why whether it's thinking, feeling, you need to step out of them. You need to be observer. When you step out of that type of emotion of thinking, you're more safe. And eventually those emotion, those thinking will be subside. Make sense now? That's what's about. And of course, the other one is understandable, right? All right, so let's move on to your question then. So let's see here. Okay, go ahead, Kaden. Oh, okay, Kaden, you want to do number one, right? Go ahead, Kaden. Sorry, I can hear you.
Oh, I was sorry. I'm gonna pull up my notes real quick.
Mm.
Okay, so whenever I did a little bit more research on the acceptance and commitment therapy, it combines mindfulness and the practice of self-acceptance. So it's more encouraging people to share their feelings and not feeling ashamed for having what they're feeling. Um, it helps with depression, OCD, anxiety, chronic stress, and drug and substance abuse. And it really brings emphasis upon the values of forgiveness, acceptance, and compassion. And whenever an individual, per se, strengthens these qualities, it'll let them look at their situation differently instead of trying to control it and wasting their energy on something they can't control. And then there was the 6 core processes of ACT, which we just reviewed a little bit. They were acceptance, cognitive diffusion, being present, self observing. And then online, it also said it emphasized the values and then had committed action as a step, which was basically implementing the plan and following their new plan of action from what they learned.
Mm-hmm. So which one? Which process is important?
What did you say? I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Process is the most important one.
Um,
Which one is the most important one?
acceptance.
Acceptance. Yeah, that's why ICT. That start with actually all of them are more important. All of them are important because they connect each other, right? You may not mm, exclude any one of them. You have to include all of them. That's why they design acceptance and commitment. You accept that, but make commitment to do, to follow your values, to step out of your thinking, your feeling, to live with the present moment. Everything is important. Right? Hi, Hannah. How you been, Hannah?
Hi, sorry, I was looking for your email. It went to my junk mail. So I was sitting there refreshing and emailing everybody to see where the link was, and it was in my spam.
I sent twice.
I know they both went to my spam. I emailed Jenny too. I emailed her and she's like, I don't see one either. So I emailed her to let her know
Oh,
where it was. But it was really weird. It wasn't in like my main box.
but last time, right? In the past weeks, right? You got
Mhm.
all email, right?
Everything else has went fine. Last week's meeting or the 2 weeks ago's meeting, that was in my spam too.
Really?
But yeah, it was really weird. They were all in my spam, and I didn't know what was going on.
I don't know too. That's out of control. So you
Oh well,
so you email or you gave Jenny the passcode.
I sent her an email saying, "Hey, it was in my junk mail. Check yours." So we'll see.
That's why I wonder where were you the week
Yeah,
before last week. So how was your Thanksgiving holiday?
it was good. How was yours?
Good, yeah, I'm so pleased. How about you, Brooklyn? You have good Thanksgiving holiday too?
Yeah. Worked a bunch.
You have families reunion, family dinner?
No, we just had a small one just with my immediate family that I live with.
About Caitlin, you have family reunion, family dinner?
We had many family dinners. We had two, but my family is very large, so there's a lot of people.
Okay. Oh, so they came to Elizabeth Town, or you come to New Albany with them?
I went to Corden and then Georgetown where they live.
Oh, they
So
spread
not
out.
too far.
No, not too far, right? They spread out.
Yes.
That's good then. Okay, so that's all right. Thank you. Let's see. Go ahead, Brooklyn. You number 8, right? Go ahead, Brooklyn.
All right, so I was trying to find my notes on this. I didn't
Mm.
actually do this one for my reading response, so it's not completely clear in my head, but when I was doing my reading, it was talking about how ACT and MBCT, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, those two are often used together because they're both kind of like a mindfulness practice, just kind of like focusing on like your feelings and understanding them better, kind of like how we were just talking about the self-content slash
Sorry,
self-context.
sorry, Brooklyn. Sorry, interrupt you. Hannah, since we have 8 questions, Caitlin, she did the number 1 already. Can you change different number, please, Hannah?
Yeah, sorry. I couldn't see from before I joined.
Sorry, that's okay. Go ahead. Sorry, Brooklyn. Go ahead. Please continue.
But for the sorry, my computer is acting weird. But for it was saying, and whatever I was reading, it was saying how ACT and MCBT are used a lot together because they both use like the same mindfulness practices and like help you, like I was saying, the self-content self versus the self-context. It kind of helps you distinguish between those two with your thoughts, not your thoughts, but like your feelings, and helps you understand them and be able to process those better.
Okay. So you say MBCT, right?
Yeah.
Together with ACT. How?
They were both a mindfulness practice, and they both focused on like what was going on in the present, like understand those thoughts and emotions that are happening then and now, to understand them, to like don't focus on what's already happened in the past, or don't worry about the future. Just focus on where you're at now and be mindful of where you're at right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So between ACT and MBCT, which one do you think is more approachable?
I feel like the ACT would be more straightforward, at least for like me.
Yeah.
Just like I feel like that one's has more like a better structure to follow. Being able to define like your own values and going like that's not it. It's because you're able to define your values and kind of go about that accordingly to how you want to be along with those values, and that the accepting of your emotions, like not pushing them off to the side, like accepting them, understanding them, not just being dismissive of them. So
to accept your emotion or your thinking, is that easy? Or is it need a lot of training, mind training?
it can be hard at times.
Why is that?
Because sometimes like if there's something that you're angry about, it can be hard to like understand that and like process that emotion and like get over that anger. It's hard to accept that happened, and even though you're still angry about it, you have to accept that happened and that's the way it went. And that can be hard to do at times.
See that, like Kaden, without meditation, there's no way for you to embrace, right? To accept your feeling and thinking, right? There's no way, right?
Yes.
Why is that?
It's more human nature to have those instinctive responses. And I often think of meditation as kind of like retraining the brain, I guess you could say, on how you respond to situations and just how you think of things in general.
Actually, it's just not the human nature, but it's human habits. If it's nature, that means we cannot change.
Yes, that makes more sense.
Habit, because we see around us, people react the same way. So that's why we feel that's normal for us to react in that way. So when someone give us hard time, we have the right to be angry, right? So we think that's just that's our nature, but actually that's our habit. Because habit we can change. If it's nature, it's our nature. There's no way for it to change. That's the difference. All right, thank you, Hannah. Number 3, please.
So the acronym FEAR is like the things for ACT that you're trying to like block out. So the F stands for fusion with your thoughts. The E is evaluation of your experience. A is the avoidance of your experience, and R is the reason for giving your behavior. So it's all of the different things that you do where you're like scared and the irrational thoughts that you have, and then avoiding doing things like the ACT model to fix your behavior and like push past it, and where you end up just coming to the idea that you're just going to avoid the things that make you uncomfortable, and then you that are, you know, you rationalize it in your head. In my therapy I go to, we do the fear module a lot. Like they have it up because I am a major rationalizer for all of my decisions. So I can rationalize about anything to make it sound like it's a good thing. So we do a lot of where she'll go through like the steps and show me like where I'm at on the scale, and then she'll show me like where on like the ACT like steps to like overcome it, like where I need to be. But it's like kind of the exact opposite of everything you're supposed to do with ACT.
So especially the final coming up, right? What happened if you have access to gold? What happened if you don't have the value of starting, right?
Yeah.
What happened then?
So like I personally, when I get overwhelmed, I'll just like shut down and stop doing it, which is, and then like you rationalize it by, oh, I'm so stressed. I'll start in 10 minutes. I just need a 10-minute break. And then you just need another 10-minute break. So this is like learning to acknowledge like, hey, this is going to be hard. You're uncomfortable doing this. Take it some deep breaths and then go to work and don't procrastinate. It's kind of how I took it.
No matter whether you avoid of discomfort of taking the hard test, you still have to face it soon later, right? You have to start it hard. So that's why somehow this one is so valuable, right? And so applicable for you guys now, right? For this week and the next one, right? Okay, so let us move on to the next one. This one here, number 28. Yeah, all right. Kaden help me well, number 1. Yeah, go ahead, Kaden. What is the function of DBT?
So DBT is dialectical behavior therapy, and it is based on cognitive behavioral therapy, but it's meant for people who experience very intense and strong emotions. So it's been altered a little bit. And then, as we remember, I'm sure CBT was allowing individuals to identify their negative thinking so they can respond to situations more effectively. And DBT helps people accept their situation and understand how thoughts affect their behavior. And then when an individual experiences intense emotions, they usually have trouble regulating their emotions and reactions. So it treats health conditions that result from issues with regulating emotions. And some of the conditions were self harm, suicidal behavior, PTSD, depression, and even eating disorders. And DBT helps these individuals by teaching them healthy ways to deal with their feelings and better process their emotions.
Okay. So what do you think about the DBT to compare with ACT?
DBT seems more of, I don't want to say a treatment method, but it seems like more of a treatment for something than as ACT is more for everyone. It just has some health related benefits.
It has more structural and
Yes.
reasoning for people to
Yes.
up, right? Yeah, go ahead, Hannah. The three primary states of the mind in DBT. What are they?
So the three states of the mind are the emotion mind, the reasonable mind, and the wise mind.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then your emotional mind is when your thoughts are like scattered and crazy and like running wild and like you're not really regulating.
Mhm.
And then your reasonable mind is when you're calm and you're being rational and thinking through everything. In one of the articles I read, they called it the cool mind. So it's kind of like they're each at the opposite ends of the spectrum. And then the wise mind is when you put the two together and you take your like emotions that you're feeling and then you learn to regulate them with things. So then you become wise because the thought is that you have to have emotions to be human, but you also have to know how to respond to them so you can be like emotionally stable yourself.
Mhm. Can you give one example to demonstrate these three minds?
I'm sorry, can you
Give one
repeat?
example. Give one example of these three minds. How it works for these three minds.
So, like, for me, it may be before I take a final, I may be completely irrational and crazy and worried that I'm going to fail
Mhm.
class and drop out of college. But then on the other end, there may be somebody that didn't study at all and is calm, cool, and collected, like, I've just got it. And then if we can, like, combined and I learned to calm down and they took, like, studying from me and I learned to be calm like them, then together in theory, we would be a really good student.
Actually, the reasonable mind that's been you start your heart, not to that
Okay.
follow
I
the
was thinking they
rules.
were like just
Reasonable mind.
over.
No. You reason
Okay.
that when you follow the rules. You set
Okay.
yourself. You set yourself that I have to study 8 hours, 10 hours, 5 hours for the test.
Okay. I was thinking they were just relaxed about
No,
everything. Like they just
no.
weren't worried about nothing.
Reasonable mind. That's when
Okay.
you follow the rules.
Okay. I was thinking it was like they were just so relaxed they didn't worry about
No,
anything.
that's
Okay.
one is the chaos mind, right? Right? If
Mm-hmm.
you confused, you have a lot of emotion, you worry about your test, so forth. So for whether it's in one pole, another pole is that you set yourself, right? You discipline yourself that you should study for the test in a rigid way. Make sense? So that's two opposites. One is so crazy, one is so rigid. Make sense? But the wise mind, you combine, you go middle way of those. Yes, you say okay. Let me relax myself. All right, don't be too much rigid, and I have to put myself a little bit, not to be lazy, not to be confused, not to be crazy. Make sense? So that's a wise mind there. You got that now? All right, good. All right, so Brooklyn, which one do you like to talk?
I said number 7.
All right, go ahead, please.
So the skills that were listed in please, um they're all skills that like impact our physical health, since like that has to do with like taking care of your mental health. They like coincide with one another. So that's what the please acronym stood for mostly. And that's like eating healthy, not abusing drugs, making sure you get enough sleep, exercising, and like taking care of like any illnesses you have. Like if you're sick, take care of yourself. Don't just like blow it off and not take care of yourself. But that's just like the please was like more taking into consideration your physical health.
Can you spell out the acronyms, please? PLEASE. What's acronym about?
Yeah. So it's physical illness, eating healthy foods, avoiding mood altering substances, being sleep balanced, and then exercising.
Oh, good. So simple, right? So
Yeah.
this one, it's actually DBT provide a lot of tools, right? Reasonable tools for people to use. So again, somehow, especially this one, it doesn't focus much about the value. It doesn't focus much about the practice meditation, right? But it talk in a reasonable way, right? So that people can follow this kind of step acronyms, right? To use like this DBT. Um, okay, so that's all. So Hannah, you think Jenny will log in soon, or you don't know? You have her number, or you?
I was messaging her on Canvas and I didn't. Do you remember she was at the meeting last week? Because the last message I got from her was, guess we don't have class again. So I don't know if she got the link last time either. So, but I sent to her like, hey, I found it in my spam. So I don't know if she might have like logged on to something else for the night and just said I don't have class.
Okay. Anyway, all right. So I think that's all. But so Hannah, so you're working on your final presentation.
Hmm.
How far? How far you done?
I've got all my research done. How long roughly do you want it to be? Like 40-ish minutes?
No, the minimum is 30.
30? 30 to 40? Okay. Okay.
And please follow the rubrics, right?
Hmm.
You need to have the PowerPoint, and you base upon those PowerPoint and explain, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So both of them, like Kaden and Brooklyn, they finish their kind of PowerPoint presentation. So, Brooklyn, how do you think about this class? How do you feel? Is too much for you, or sometimes it's just too much reading for you, or what? Or you can handle everything?
I think it was fine. I mean, of course, there will be some weeks where I'm feeling more stressed out in the readings. Getting all the readings done is a bit more challenging, but like overall, I think it was fine. Especially like I did additional research on my own for some of the weekly responses too, and I thought it was fine.
Okay. How about meditation? How about the meditation log?
I think that honestly has helped me a lot, especially like at work because I work on in New Albany and in a pharmacy, and it gets pretty crazy in there sometimes, and it really helps me to just stop and take a breath and just get back into my groove, feel more in control of myself, and it just helps me a lot right there. And then I usually have problems like going to sleep early or trying to stay asleep, and like doing a body scan before bed has really helped me like able to like calm my mind down and just be able to relax and then be able to sleep. And I usually stay asleep whenever I do a body scan before bed, so that helps.
Mm-hmm. At beginning, right, I mentioned to you guys that starting the Buddhist meditation class without actually doing meditation, you will not feel much, right?
Yeah.
Like you're in principle, right? When you do the practice, you could see the effectiveness of meditation, right?
Mhm.
So you think you can carry on this practice after this class?
Yeah, I think so. Definitely with the body scans and helping me at work. Yeah.
Yeah. About Hannah, how you think about this class? Is too much for you, or you can handle any suggestion, or what?
I really liked it. I found it very, I don't know, I found doing the meditations was helpful. It was almost nice because I'm a business student. So all of my homework all week is math. So it was kind of nice for me to do something other than math and business proposals and everything.
And you say you sit with your mom too, right?
Yeah, it was nice because I got to sit with mom and then I kind of understood a little bit more when she'd be like, oh, I'm trying this out this week. And I'd be like, oh, okay, okay, we learned about that in class.
So you sometimes you try to explain some principle or technique to your mom that you learn from the class.
Yeah, she usually thinks I'm crazy. She's usually like, Hannah, leave it to me. I'm the expert. Like,
Oh, yeah.
but every now and then I can show her. Every now and then I can show her like one of our readings, and I'll be like, Mom, here's one of our readings, and she'll read it and be like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay. So your mom is a nurse, is that right? Or she business?
She's a Head Start like principal. Like she's.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Where's in New Albany?
No, I live in Brownstown, so
Right.
she goes to Madison, Indiana. I don't know if you know where that's at.
Where's that?
Madison, Indiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Hmm.
She principal of that Head Start. Um,
Hmm.
how many children? How many students does she need to take care of?
I think like 30. Some years it's more, some years it's less.
Wow. but she's the one that encouraged you to do meditation and take the class too, right?
Mhm.
Nice. Do you think you can carry on after this class for the practice?
Yeah, I probably will.
Mm.
We'll probably still sit and do it in the mornings like we've been.
Mhm. Would you still see your psychologist or psychiatrist, right?
Hmm?
Do you still see your
Yes.
psychologist or psychiatrist,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Every week or what?
Every other week.
Every other week. So she always encouraged you to do meditation.
Mhm.
Like you just mentioned that she went over with you this ATC. You familiar with that? Right? Mm.
We try to do because I don't like taking medicine and things. So we try to find things like meditation and stuff to help, so I don't have to go on medicine or anything.
You still taking medicine, or you you stay away from that?
I stay away. I don't like it.
Oh, that's nice. Mhm. When did you 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 stop taking medicine?
August.
Oh, really? Beginning of
hmm
this semester,
hmm
you feel you can control your mind, emotion, and so forth with meditation?
hmm
Yeah, in my class, I told you, remember the student from university institution? I think at least two students, they stay away from medicine already. Yeah, and actually, last week I show Kaden, right, the video clips, right? You guys watch the video clips, yeah? The video clips about that I post on the announcement, right? Brooklyn, you saw that?
No, I haven't seen a video. Did you? Where was it at?
Let me share with you here. Okay, here in the announcement, only a couple of minutes right here. The announcement, NBC News. Meditation has the same effect of as medication, and it would not have any side effect as the medication of medicine. Uh, about Brooklyn, you carry on after this class, Brooklyn. So, oh, sorry, Caden. Sorry, Caden. Mm.
Yes, I definitely feel like I'll be able to. It's a part of my routine now.
And you told me week, no, last time that your supervisor at the Harrison County Hospital, right? She she designed this program, or she encouraged the patient to
She,
do it.
she encourages a lot of the patients to do it because they already have so many medications to take that she doesn't want them on even more. So if it can be prevented, then she definitely recommends it.
But they don't have any class, I mean, meditation class for the patient yet.
No, I don't think they do. I think she was trying to get that started up because one of the patients mentioned that, well, I'll only do it if I have somebody else to do it with me. And then somebody else was like, oh, we could do classes. So I think that idea kind of sparked in their minds, and she's taking it to the like monthly staff meeting and making a proposal about it. So we'll
Good.
see.
Yeah, tell her if she needs me, contact me, right?
Okay.
And I can discuss with her to help out the patient over there. Yeah. That's great. And you say your mom still sit with you, right? Sometimes she sit with you.
Yes, sometimes.
Hmm. And so you have more information on hand, right?
A little more, yes.
Mhm. And you share with your dad or like you say your info too, right?
Yes, he has started doing it a little bit more, a few days a week, whenever he has time.
Mhm. So his health much better, right? His health he can control his
Yes, yes. He
now.
says his mind just feels very relaxed and calm, like he can focus more.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad that that you like recognize the benefit of meditation by practicing, right? Without practicing, there's no way for you to feel, right? Um, so anyway, uh, good luck with your final, and please remember, right? Don't put any expectation on any test, any exam. You might be free, and you can enjoy your test, right? Otherwise, be stressful, right, Hannah? Mm, right. And I I look forward to see your final PowerPoint presentation. Okay, Hannah, you almost done everything, right, Hannah?
Hmm?
You almost done of everything, right?
Yeah, I just have to record it. I have a final tomorrow, so I was like, oh, I'll record it after the final.
Yeah. Brooklyn, you almost done with all assignment, right?
Yeah, I think I'm just finishing up my weekly log and then I'm done.
Okay. All right, good. All right, so that's all for me today. I don't know about all the students. I sent twice, and I don't know. It's out of my control. I don't know, but I'm glad to see you guys again. So good luck on your final. And if you have any question, let me know. Okay, and I hope you enjoy my class, and I hope that you can carry on this kind of practice for your benefit and share with others. Okay, very good. Thank you.